So I was telling somebody, I'm going for therapy, and he was like, "Oh, you go for therapy?" He's like, "Yeah." बोला, "I'm too strong for that." Actually, वो बेचारा खुद ही patriarchy में अटका हुआ है.
Yeah, patriarchy I feel has done a lot of harm to men.
Much more harm to men.
Sometimes,
Absolutely,
yes,
yeah.
much more
And today
harm to men.
particularly.
If a woman feels liberated from that necessity, she will in her natural being make sacrifices to build a life that is wholesome.
Just like men do, I think.
Exactly.
Men gossip more than women.
Of course.
Yeah.
100%.
And all these,
on a set
and
when you
all
figure
these
that out.
labels are given by men. Slut shaming is also a very active male hobby. There are lots of wonderful directors who I'd give my heart for. I'd love to work with. Haven't cast me because they think I look too good.
My sister and I, we were constantly compared, and Supriya was definitely the much prettier one. I had funny teeth and all that kind of stuff, and was thin as a stick at that time. Oh, I thought I can't look good, so then I had to do something else now. So I better learn how to act. If you are good at what you're doing, whatever age you are, you would be accepted.
Yeah.
They would be forced to accept you. Don't pretend to be something younger or older than you are.
Yeah.
That was a huge bit of advice given to me by Nasir, and I will always thank him for that. He told me, stop dyeing your hair. And I resisted. I was like, oh shit, look at all the guys I'm likely to be cast with are all bloody dyeing their hair. What do? I won't never get a job. So he said, never mind, try it. And I did. And I can't tell you what a release that has been for me.
इतिहास गवाह है कि मर्दों का जमाना रहा है और औरतों ने बगावत की है. And today I have a gang of women who have always challenged some social norms that actually seemed unbeatable with their unbeatable choices and forces of nature. Today I have the incredible team of Dhak Dhak joining me for a conversation only on Bollywood Bubble. This I vote for you guys.
Yeah, that's what I
पूरा से बंदे घूम रहा हूँ. Because I just feel that Sanjana, Fatima, Diya and Ratna ma'am, I know that in an interview you said that you would love to be called Ratna, but I don't know. Matlab, it's not anything but just out of respect and adulation. And I feel it's so good to have an army of women leading from the front. And it's about time. I feel that, I've grown up idolizing my mother. So the first thing that I'm going to say, because I don't want it to be an interview, I want it to be a conversation. Femininity has always been considered as a weakness. Women are considered weak. Men who are more in touch with their feminine side, like me and many others, okay, in lot of ways, not just physically, emotionally, mentally, are considered weak, mocked, bullied for being a little closer to their feminine side.
Sensitive.
Yeah, sensitive. And mazak uraya jata hai. This has been a long-standing fight. Do you agree? And how much do you have to fight it on a daily basis as strong women when femininity is the point of judgment?
ये काफी
Existential है.
हाँ नहीं existential है और
we fight it at small levels and bigger levels,
Yeah.
right? It's sometimes something as basic as which side should the mic be labeled on. because it comes as a label for a suit.
but also that awareness कि लड़कियों का अलग साइड होता है मुझे खुद को भी recently मालूम पड़ा. So a lot of things as women also everything comes to the surface much later in life because there are conversations happening. To what you were saying, my brother is extremely sensitive. And for the longest period of time I have had some friends who found it very difficult to accept that being vulnerable is strength.
Yeah.
There is strength in vulnerability. Recently I had met somebody.
I think even as women we don't recognize
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
that there's strength in vulnerability.
Yeah, just
I had met somebody recently and I do therapy and I think everybody should do therapy. It has helped me grow as a person बहुत जल्दी. So I was telling somebody, I'm going for therapy and he was like, oh, you go for therapy? He's like, yeah, I'm too strong for that. So I'm too strong for that मतलब क्या होता है?
Shah said you're too ignorant.
No, I felt bad.
You're in denial, bro.
I felt bad. नहीं वो बेचारा खुद ही पेट्रियार्की में अटका हुआ है. उसका जो बेचारे का इमेज है कि लड़के ऐसे होते हैं, लड़कों को ऐसा नहीं बोलना चाहिए, इमोशंस के बारे में बात करोगे ना तो ये तो भाई पता नहीं क्या हो जाएगा, मैं वीक लगूंगा. But it's so sad. because you're carrying so much of a burden. See, we are fighting our own battles, you're fighting your own battle, and at least like Ratna has just recently said that we know what we are fighting for. And like she said, there are a lot of boys, they do not know where to go, what to see. मतलब हम मर्द है लेकिन अंदर से बेचारे रोना चाहते हैं, रोएंगे लेकिन वो रो नहीं सकते, उनके सारे emotions दबे हुए. So imagine the amount of damage it is causing and how broken they are.
Yeah, patriarchy,
fact,
I feel,
yes.
has done a lot of harm to men.
Much more harm to men.
Sometimes, yes, much more
And
harm
today
to men.
particularly. I can't say that over the years that's been true, but patriarchy definitely today is doing more damage to men. Because, as she just said, women have recognized that they have suffered from patriarchy. And in their own ways, they're fighting against it. They're also being supported.
Yeah.
Whether it's by the government or it's by your families. At least today, there is acknowledgement that this kind of support is valid, should be given.
True. You know, and
You don't do that to the boys.
Yeah.
If you have a son
terrible.
who is somewhat different or
Absolutely.
who thinks differently, that was child, even the family doesn't know what to do with them.
Yeah.
But you know, it's so ironic, right? Because if you look at legends and you think about cultures and you think about even religion, there is a grace and a femininity in so many of the male gods. Whether in Greek mythology or Indian mythology. Or, it's fascinating, right? So when did this idea of masculinity get replaced? Who decided that a man can only be masculine and have no femininity? I think it may have come with, I don't know.
A long conversation.
Let's
not go there.
You know, it comes out in conversations like when I was in college, for example, as a 20-year-old girl, you were, at least I have faced this, where growing up in that 18 to 20 age group, you sometimes felt that with your male friends, you're not able to have as emotionally evolved conversations. I used to feel this.
Yes.
And then I used to talk to my mum or my aunts, and they would simply say that, oh, a boy your age will not have the same emotional quotient, EQ, as a girl of 21. And I was like, but why? Why is our EQ defined by our gender? And then when I spoke to my brother about it, who's 4 years older to me, he was like, son, because for the longest time, we were told that being emotional, being
just not
like
right.
we said, being vulnerable or being in touch with your emotional reality is not it. It's not the idea of a cool dude at all. Which is why they have slightly, I don't want to use the word stunted, but their emotional growth happens later.
Much later.
Yeah.
Also,
And
they
sometimes
struggle a
doesn't
lot.
even happen at
Men
all.
struggle a lot.
And-
I've
and-
seen so many of my male
Yes.
friends
Yeah,
struggle.
really struggle.
like also conversations जो हमारे मतलब यंग लड़कियों के बारे में साथ में अगर आप जाओगे तो conversations अलग होते हैं, बट जो बच्चे होते हैं स्कूल में वहाँ पे बड़े लड़के छोटे लड़कों को क्या बोलते हैं कि वो लड़की है, नहीं ये नहीं बोलते, ये लड़की है, इसके साथ पता है क्या करना है, इसके साथ किस विस करके छोड़ देना, फिर देखना कैसे वापस आती है, ऐसे मर्द बनते हैं, ऐसे दिखाते, पावर प्ले एट द एज. And you would know, because these are the conversations that older boys and younger boys they look up at older boys.
And it's so weird that I have been part of, of course, when we were growing up, you're part of groups, right? And then you feel that it's so weird, Fatima, what you said, that I have realized that, of course, when you're growing up, you're talking about a woman's physicality because you're interested in women. Whatever my interest would be, it doesn't matter, but I've never really objectified somebody to their body part.
Yeah.
And because I haven't done it, because I've been conditioned to believe that it's not the right thing to do, no matter it's a man or a woman.
Yes.
But because I'm in the minority, I am the one mocked, I am the one bullied, and I am the one who's made to feel like I'm a misfit. And this really bothered me for a long time, till I came to understand and accept that, listen, the world around us is stupid, I am not.
Yeah, well done.
But sometimes it can get to a person who's already emotionally derailed. I am coming from a place of privilege where I was going to come to that it also takes strong women and men, anybody, to become strong only when you have the support of the right people around you. Close friends. My mom and dad, my brother, my close friends, they've championed me. So I know I'm doing the right thing.
We all need allies.
Absolutely.
And that is what a film like Dhak Dhak in a way tells us. There are 4 women
who don't know each other.
Individually may not have made this journey together, but together with this support of each other, They all are able to do it. And they're strangers to each other. There's no earlier affection or love or even acquaintance.
Yeah.
And yet, 4 strangers can develop a bond which is life-changing. So that is what I think really attracted me to the story of Dhak Dhak. That, of course, it's an interesting part and it's an interesting story. It's, after all, an adventure.
Absolutely.
So there is that. So there's the fun part of it. But the underlying tone of acceptance and of support, of forming a sister brotherhood,
Sisterhood.
Yeah.
that is what makes life really special for all of us.
Yeah, and we all need it.
All
And
need
we
it.
all
We all
need
need
it.
it.
I mean, you wouldn't be able to do it without your parents.
And sometimes you find that in strangers.
Yeah.
Often.
हाँ कि जिनसे आप एक्सपेक्ट नहीं करते हो, आपके दोस्त तो है ही, बट ऐसा कोई अनजान इंसान होता है जो कुछ ऐसी चीज बोल के जाता है जो आपके साथ जिंदगी भर रह जाती है. और जब भी आप ट्रैवल करते हो या जब भी आप नए लोगों से मिलते हो, आप वो एक दरवाजा खोल रहे हो अपने दिल का, जहाँ पे आप किसी को कुछ ऐसा बोलने दे रहे हो बिकॉज कोई बायस नहीं है. Also, you're not carrying any past emotion where you feel कि हाँ ये तो मेरा दोस्त है, मेरे को क्यों ऐसे कर रहा है. कोई आके कुछ बोल के गया and उसको तो पता भी नहीं है कि उसने आपकी जिंदगी बदल दी है. So that also is a beautiful thing. And when you travel and when you're a part of a community like bikers, there is so much that they go through because you are constantly challenged by the climate, by the terrain, by
Your
everything.
own physical impediments.
Yeah, because it's difficult. It's not easy. दिल्ली to खारदुंगला एक्चुअली में हम तो प्रोडक्शन के साथ में थे, तो हमारे लिए हम होटल में भी रुके, हम कर रहे शूटिंग कर रहे, बट जो एक्चुअली निकलता है उनका खाना, गाड़ी बंद हो गई तो लद्दाख में क्या होता है कि अगर गाड़ी बंद हो गई यू हैव टू वेट फॉर समबडी टू कम. वहाँ पे नेटवर्क नहीं होता. सो बट दैट इज एन अनसेड रूल that you have to help somebody.
Yes.
If somebody is in
So
trouble,
wonderful.
you
That
will
sense
wait
of
and help.
community is so special.
Yeah.
So
I loved it.
Because there's no social network.
Yeah.
There's no importance to that.
And I
There's
love
no
those
facade.
BRO signs. You remember those BRO signs?
yeah.
Oh yes.
So this is
My
a different,
God, that
it's a
BRO
fully different
lot
kind
was
of bro.
really bros they
yeah,
are.
Yeah,
Oh,
really lovely.
BRO, Border
Oh,
Road Organization.
Organization.
What tough conditions they work in. And what beautiful roads they maintain.
Yeah.
Anyone who says Indians can't maintain good roads should go to Ladakh and have a look at what is possible.
Beautiful.
Those potholes in Mumbai are because of other reasons, not because we don't know how to build good roads.
But when I speak to all of you, in your respective spaces, unfortunately, we do live in a male-dominated society because of the conditioning. Okay, it all starts from conditioning, and I've come to terms with the fact that people don't target me because of my sexuality more. People target me because of the femininity, and I'm proud of it. And it's the conditioning. Eventually, it's all about conditioning. This is something that I face, but as actors, sexism has played such a huge part of your careers, of your lives. Like women are labeled, women are man-eaters, women are
Home breakers.
girls, women are the ones who are only cat fighting, women, honestly speaking.
Love a good cat fight.
Yeah, but honestly, men gossip more than women.
Of course,
Yeah.
100%.
100%.
Sit on a set and you
all
figure that
these
out.
labels are given by men. Most of them.
All the labels.
Yeah. Slut shaming is also a very active male hobby.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you that, Dia, when I speak to you
male
today,
hobby.
Yeah.
when I speak to you, every time I just spoke to you right now and said that, there's a calm, comforting aura. Like you suddenly feel, no matter what your energies are, you become calm, right?
The only person I can't calm down is this one sitting on my left.
Nobody can come.
Well,
Nobody can
that's
take
It's
it.
good. It's good to be the storm, na, sometimes. But I want to ask you this, that in the beginning, you're not from the industry. When you faced any of these comments, any of these labels, of course, there were many labels attached to you. You were a model and you came into acting and a lot of things happened. How did you deal with it? Were there difficult days? Today, you speak from a very experienced point of view where you've calmed down, but were there never days where you felt cheated, vulnerable, betrayed?
Oh, obviously. I was so young when I started working in film. I was 18 and a half.
Oy.
And yes, with no background in cinema and with no family in Mumbai.
Yeah.
I was living alone. I was running my house, I was cooking my meals, I was sweeping, mopping, dusting, showing up to work, paying my taxes. and bills and figuring out where to, you know, get gas from and how to get a phone connection. It's very hard to navigate life in the real world as a woman, and especially as a young woman. And I think more so in a world that is so patriarchal. But I think more so in our industry because we are commodified.
Absolutely.
When we are young, especially when we are young, because everybody is trying to sell something, right? And we are the face of that sale, and so that the failures of our subjects become personal. The attacks feel extremely personal, and also I think I came at a time when the media was so irresponsible in the way they treated us. You know, the reviewers used to be so vicious. Their attacks used to be so cruel. Not just personal, they were cruel. It was very, very hard to remain
Sane,
focused, committed, and also just positive.
Yeah.
Because there was so much that was also, you know, there were cliques. They still exist. But today I've discovered I can exist independently without being a part of any clique. At that age, I felt like I would drown in the deep end because I was not a part of any clique.
Yeah.
And no entity was, you know, holding me under their wing. It was terrifying. And I think it is my work outside of cinema that kept me going and kept me sane and made me realize that while the cinematic experiences can be so isolating and also very incubative, right? Because you're kind of
Shut off from the world.
It's the real life experiences and the real life challenges and the real people that I had the opportunity to learn from and grow from that kept me going. I don't think I would be an artist. I would not be half the artist if it wasn't
Isn't
for
it the
those real
strangest thing? That so many actors, particularly actors, I think directors and writers also suffer from the same problem, but particularly actors, become successful because they bring the smell of the earth.
Yeah.
They bring a fresh, something that this closed industry has not seen before.
Yeah.
There's a little ripple of excitement that here's a different kind of person.
फिर सब वही करते.
And then before you know it, that person has abandoned that thing that was special about him or her.
Absolutely.
And just started towing the line, spending all their time doing makeup. Oh God, that makeup and hair. I tell you, sometimes I feel like it's enough to drive you mad.
Yeah. I remember Mahesh Bhatt
Instead
saying
of doing
something
lines, I've seen actors just do makeup.
Yeah, know the language.
And they don't know the line for half a second. They'll forget the most obvious line possible. But they'll be doing makeup.
What about you? You were saying something.
Mahesh Bhatt had said something very interesting to me. If you can learn to be less caught up in the physicality of your appearance and just learn to reach into yourself, you'll be a far better artist.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think that's sage advice.
Absolutely.
I got at very young age, and it meant a lot to me because it kind of
Yes, and a person like her who's so extraordinarily good looking.
Yeah.
Yeah? I mean,
She's been judged for that also, for being too good looking also.
Exactly,
She's being judged.
but she can just carry
lost
that
part
weight
because of-
forever and never get beyond
too
that.
beautiful to do
On the other hand, people who consider themselves not good looking, I was one
You
of
is
them
too beautiful.
in a strange kind of way because my sister and I, we were constantly compared, and Supriya was definitely the much prettier one. You know, I had funny teeth and all that kind of stuff. I was thin as a stick at that time. Oh, for that thinness now. But really, I was very lucky. I never got caught up with the fact of having to look good. I thought, I can't look good. So then I had to do something else now. So I better learn how to act. कम से
But
कम
you
वो
know,
तो मुझे
in
काम
her-
देगा.
In her case, I think it has worked against you also, right? In a lot of ways. The beauty.
there are lots of wonderful directors who I'd give my heart for. I'd love to work with. Haven't cast me because they think I look too good.
Poor thing.
Well, that's
I mean,
such a
It's okay.
That's
It's just,
No, I mean, this involvement with just the superficial.
yeah,
That's such a sad thing.
Yeah.
And it can make you waste your life.
Absolutely.
But I have to say there's been an update in life since then. And those same directors now want to work with me.
That's the validation we all deserve.
So finally they grew up.
One thing that I have always had a conversation with my mother, like my mother will tell me 100 things and I listen to her because I really love her. But I have, like, now that I'm growing up, I know that she also listens to a lot of things that I really want to change in her. And it's great because there's like a mutual exchange of ideas, because I keep telling her that certain things that she keeps doing in the name of family and in the name of being a woman, I think women are conditioned to always compromise, and मतलब उनको लगता ही है कि हमको जिंदगी भर adjust करना है, कभी आवाज ही नहीं उठानी. ऐसा नहीं है कि मेरे family में ऐसा कुछ है, honestly, कि there's a problem, but I feel women are raised, sometimes men don't even expect you to,
Exactly.
but you do it.
Yes.
You do it.
Yes.
Like you give up on something that you really love. And right now I push her ki no, you be a part of my videos. It is, and then when my friends and people meet her, like I made her meet a few actors, and they come, Auntie, मैंने आपको देखा नैन के video में. Now she knows that okay, there is a visibility for, she's an artist. I keep telling her, just start a boutique. I can finance it now. Just take advantage of me and my positioning and social media. I'll do it. I just feel that there are times when women खुद से ही अपने आप को ना वो सहम जाते हैं, बिकॉज कंडीशनिंग वैसी है. क्योंकि हर किसी में औरत को जज किया जाता है, इफ देयर इज अ फेल्ड रिलेशनशिप, अ वुमन इज जज्ड फर्स्ट. इफ देयर इज अ सेपरेशन, अ वुमन इज जज्ड फर्स्ट. इफ देयर इज अ चाइल्ड हु हैज डन समथिंग रॉन्ग, द मदर इज जज्ड फर्स्ट कि कैसे संस्कार दिए. Yes, have you experienced or heard that in and around?
Of course, I think
We
all
do
of
live
us
in the same world,
and I think all of us at different stages have gone through that, at different versions of that.
We've seen our mothers, our sisters, our friends, our house help,
so many
ourselves.
people. सब लोगों के साथ ऐसा कुछ ना कुछ हुआ है. और जैसे इन्होंने कई दफा कहा है कि वो कंडीशनिंग है, वो कंडीशनिंग को तोड़ने के लिए या तो आप जैसा बेटा चाहिए जो नहीं. मुझे और मेरे भाई को काफी दफा बोलना पड़ता है, आप लोग जो बोल रहे हो गलत है. अभी वो बेचारों को पता नहीं वो गलत बोल रहे हैं.
उनके लिए वही सही है.
उन्होंने भी सुना है,
उन्होंने सुना है. अभी कोई रीजन नहीं है, उनका दिल खराब नहीं है, वो malicious नहीं है. But it is a lot of people are unaware and they do not realize that this could harm somebody or this could hurt somebody. वो चीज़ जब तक कोई उनको बोलेगा नहीं, वो कैसे समझेंगे. अभी कॉन्वर्जेशंस हो रही है तो हम भी रियलाइज कर रहे हैं. कोई बोलेगा कि हम अग्री नहीं करते. हम वीडियोस देखते हैं इंस्टाग्राम में जहाँ पे कोई बोलेगा, यू मस्ट हैव सीन दैट वाइट गाय सेइंग 10,000 बिलियन थिंग्स, दैट वुमन, ये वुमन का रोल है. दिस गाय इज एब्सोल्युटली हिलेरियस. ही सेज दैट वुमेन शुड ओनली प्ले दिस रोल, हर role is of a mother, her role is of this, and that's what makes her attractive. And I'm like, this is wow, what a guy. Because and people follow him.
Oh yes.
People follow him.
And they believe that.
And the fact is कि आपकी आवाज इतनी loud है, साला उसकी भी loud है. तो आप अब मजबूरन हमें भी अपनी आवाज बढ़ानी पड़ती है. इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि हम चिल्लाएंगे. चिल्लाना जरूरी नहीं है. आप धक धक बनाएंगे, आप किताबें लिखेंगे, आप गाने लिखेंगे, आप अपने जिंदगी के, अपने माँ से बात करेंगे, अपने पापा से बात करेंगे, अपने दोस्तों को समझाएंगे. आप अपने डेली डिसीजंस आपके क्या है वो आपको डिफाइन करता है, और वो आपके आसपास की यूनिट को डिफाइन करता है. एंड बाय एंड लार्ज दैट मेक्स अ सोसाइटी, because people make a society.
But when women actually take that step and decide to not be a part of a clan, like clan as in like a part of how everybody is, and be authentic to themselves. I'm talking about women in general, and also many men who again are more in touch with their feminine side. I would speak because from personal experience, I just feel that they are often judged and they are often called difficult, brash, somebody's
or activist.
सबसे बड़ी गाली.
It's made to sound like a गाली
कुछ
for
गलत कर रहे हो
opinion.
भाई, कुछ गलत कर रहे हो बेचारे. एक तो बोल रहे हैं आवाज उठाना ही गलत है.
Absolutely. Have you faced any of that in life?
Yes.
You know, when we were talking about this, what I was just thinking back to is that with my mother, like how for you, your mom's been one of your greatest influences. I think for most of us, your mother is your idol, right? She defines the ideal notion of perfection for you, etc. What I've noticed is that the sacrifice for family, for their own personal goals, or the 100 sacrifices they make on a daily basis may come naturally to them and they will make those happily. But what I've seen bother, at least maybe my mother, is that if she feels burdened that she has to make those sacrifices. So I think if a woman feels liberated from that necessity, she will in her natural being make sacrifices to build a life that is wholesome.
Just like men do, I think.
Exactly.
Like,
I was just about to say that.
No, I'm saying all
like
of
my
this.
husband will work from 7 in the morning till 9 o'clock at night, and if I have a flight arriving at 12:30 in the morning, he will come to the airport to receive me with a flower
And a smile.
and a smile. And there's it just as long as true. I know that this may not happen forever, but
You manifested it.
yeah, but this is also something that also just comes from intention, and I feel intention is everything.
Absolutely.
And empathy is everything.
Oh,
I was just about to say that.
and
that
therein
it's not so
lies
much to
the-
do with gendering
Gender.
and the
Not
way
at
in which we
all.
have all been raised. There is some part that it plays. But basically, there are some people who like to do things for others, who don't mind
I will wait
adjusting
to
their
eat my
lives
meal.
to fit in with others.
Correct.
Whether they are men or women, you see them on both sides. At least I have seen plenty of men.
I saw
No,
my
that's
mom.
what
really wanted to
equality
extend
is.
extend
We
themselves.
have
My dad was like that.
my father.
Unfortunately, we've reduced feminism to a male versus
Bashing.
female fight.
Fight,
But
which
it's
is
always
what it
going to
is.
be about it is about equality,
Yes.
which we completely forget or tend to overlook for our own narratives.
Yeah.
Let's because people do it because there's some of them or most of them do it because there's a narrative that they cater to.
Right, so we are changing the narrative.
Yeah.
Dhak Dhak, Thappad. There are so many films
Absolutely.
like that
Yeah.
that are now changing the narrative. All kinds of things are happening online and from all over the world. So suddenly everyone is thinking or being forced to look at different aspects of this problem.
I'm actually
and I'm
thinking
really
of-
hoping that would make a quantitative change.
I'm thinking about Dhak Dhak, and I was thinking about the men in Dhak Dhak.
The what?
Yeah.
The men in Dhak
The
Dhak.
men in
Same, I
Dhak
was
Dhak.
just gonna
We haven't bashed anybody.
No.
Damn.
It's very interesting because, like, her grandson is such an interesting, wonderful
Yes,
character.
and my relationship with the dead husband. That's so beautiful. So that's it.
And
That's
Dhak
why I
Dhak's
feel
been
Tarun
written and
and
directed by
Abhijat,
even
a
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
you know, so
Parijat, sorry. Both Parijat and Tarun have done such a wonderful job.
Yeah.
We've been talking about this earlier in the other interviews, that they're both men.
Yeah.
And they were able to see things that made all of us think, shit, how did you know that we feel like this?
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's so wonderful that there are people who are able to write like that.
क्योंकि
You
वो
know,
बात
who are
करते
able
हैं.
to empathize.
Yeah,
There
because,
you go.
You
Your
know,
point.
this exactly, like I'm so like whatever I am today is a reflection of what my mom has taught me.
And
That's
she's
all.
taught you to be empathetic.
Yeah,
I think
and-
that's the most important.
And genuinely, if you meet my mom has met a superstar, and that superstar is male actor, and my mom, he told my mother that, you know, आपका बेटा बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहा है. This is 4 years ago, and my mom has literally looked at him and said, but सबके साथ अच्छे से behave करता है. Is he nice to everybody? That is what matters to my mother. If you tell my
कि
mom
इंसान
you're-
अच्छा है.
yeah, हाँ, कि अच्छा है वो, ठीक है, वो ज्यादा मैटर करेगा. कितना सक्सेसफुल है उनको मैटर ही नहीं करता. And
Can I
that's
tell
the-
her that your son is wonderful with everyone?
Yeah.
I just want to say that kindness and empathy often is not respected. It is often taken for granted. And that is a fight that I constantly fight, you know. And I know a lot of people, men and women, are fighting it every day. And because there is another woman who has fought this battle for you guys, which is Taapsee Pannu.
Yes.
I had a surprise for you guys.
Oh.
She has sent a message. She's at a dubbing studio, so she couldn't send an audio, which I could have played. But she has just told me to say this to all 4 of you, that you know it takes some kind of really evolved, secure and driven minds to say yes to this sort of a film. And these women didn't even think twice before saying yes to this film when we took it to them. I think I just lucked out that I got them in my film, and I will have it no other way.
My God, sweet. Please.
I love her.
And just tell you,
everything
Taapsee,
she
I
has
mean, we
ascribed
would have
to
been
us
idiots.
is what we should be ascribing to her.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it takes a really solid woman
My
to
God.
tell this story.
And to back
and
it.
to back
and
it
to back
every
it
step
and to
of the way.
believe in it.
And
And to
Taapsee, I would
empower
like to say
others.
that really we would have been dumb idiots to
Yeah,
not do
had we
this
not
film.
do it,
I
not
mean,
do
come
it.
on, what's there not to like about it?
बड़ी मुश्किल से ऐसी स्क्रिप्ट्स आती
आती है
आपके
बाबा।
पास।
And do you know, it's so ironic if you see today's generation of actors and male actors, female actors, most of the female actors are better producers. And they are producers. Other people are not producing. The male actors are not really producing. I'm not talking about the generation that has gone by or who are still working.
Yeah, but that's a
superstars.
good
But
observation.
from this younger lot of actors, you will see a Deepika, you will see Sonakshi now
Now
jumping
even
into
Kriti.
Anushka, Kriti, Taapsee,
Alia.
Kangana, Alia, everybody is doing it and they are really backing such incredible stories.
I think that is also happening because एक lack है, एक void है एक certain type के roles का, तो as
So we
producers
have to create them.
हम जैसे अभी ये
That's
दिया भी
why
बोल
I
रही थी
became
कि
a
दरवाजा खोलना पड़ता है, you have to hold the door for other people to come in. So these, I think any one of us, if we had the money or if we had the bandwidth to create opportunities for somebody else where we did not get, you know, we would like to create that for others. And I think
Dia
that
has manifested that I'll earn a lot of money and I'm gonna make a film like Dhak Dhak, like I said.
Yeah.
Definitely. But Jate, one more thing that I really want to address to both of you separately and to both of you, but I think all of you go through in different parts of your life. Age shaming, ageism is something that everybody is going through. Whenever a actor, I don't know, it's like if you're little sized, then you'll be like, you're too fat. If you reduce your weight, you're too thin. Nobody is really happy. So it happens the same the other way.
Yeah.
When you're post a certain age, you're like, you're too old for a role like this. And if you're young, they don't even have the experience to carry this on their shoulders. And that has happened for everybody. And I'm pretty sure you both go through the other spectrum and how did you deal with it? And when it first came to you, did it really, really affect you? I'll start with you, ma'am.
Well, though I didn't do too much work when I was young, so I didn't see a
In
lot
film.
of in film.
Yeah.
On stage, things are somewhat different, and that's what did save me a little bit, because stage allows you to focus on the character rather than the player of the character, the actor. Also, I learnt pretty late, actually, but in good time, that I want to act forever. I'm not going to act only as long as I'm young and pretty.
You're Meryl Streep.
So then
of
in
our
that
industry.
case, what do I do?
She's Ratna
How
Pathak.
do I
Yeah, that's
make
true.
myself employable for a long time? So it helped me shift my focus from the way I look to the way I am and my skills. That was a huge help. And finally, ageism is something that you find it across all kinds of social situations. It's a pity.
yeah.
Yeah.
The only way to answer it, I have discovered for myself, is to be good. If you're good at what you're doing, whatever age you are, you would be accepted.
Yeah.
They would be forced to accept you.
And they'll be forced to write roles
And
that you deserve.
don't pretend to be something younger or older than you are.
Yeah.
That was a huge bit of advice given to me by Nasir, and I will always thank him for that. He told me, stop dyeing your hair. And I resisted. I was like, oh shit, look at all the guys I'm likely to be cast with are all bloody dyeing their hair. What do? I won't never get a job. So he said, never mind, try it. And I did. And I can't tell you what a release that has been for me, and how it has helped me focus more on my abilities as a performer than about the way I look.
Yeah.
So that's a big one for me.
What about you, Dia? You have spoken about it and gone through it.
No, I think ageism is prevalent, and I've said this even earlier in our interview, that because you are a part of a capitalist structure that is so driven by consumerism, and everything that you're doing is kind of to cater for somebody's consumption, you end up becoming,
A commodity.
a commodity. And in that, that's when fears surface, and your idea of identity is diminished by your lack of understanding of your own
Potential.
and your own depth and your own ability to grow and evolve and survive the length of time. And I think for me personally, it was extremely liberating to be able to produce at the age of 26 and then discover, the challenges of storytelling and realize that, life is not centered around the occupation of succeeding as an actor, but it's so much more about pursuing growth as an individual. And for me, that has been paramount. And I always tell younger actors who come and talk to me and who ask me, who are feeling frustrated, who are feeling helpless, who are feeling scared because they're not getting cast, they're not getting called for auditions. They also see the structures and the clubs and the cliques, and it frightens them. And I always tell them, don't focus on any of that other than
your skill.
Your skill.
Yeah.
Just keep working on
Yes.
yourself,
You've
because
got to be
nothing is
bloody
more
good.
important.
Yeah.
And I'm getting my best work of my life in my 40s.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just so wonderful. And I'm so grateful for the opportunities. And I'm so happy that I can turn back, and I wish I could meet the 20-year-old self and tell her that don't be so scared. You know, everything works out as long as you work on yourself.
Both of you, have you guys like felt like sometimes because you are younger, people just like, I have felt that a lot of times, like there'll be senior
कि आपको
actors.
सीरियसली नहीं लेते
Yeah, man.
यार
नहीं, मुझे वैसा नहीं लगा क्योंकि मैं चाइल्ड एक्टर थी तो ऑलरेडी आई वाज स्लॉटेड एज अ चाइल्ड एक्टर. सो वो टाइम पे प्रेशर्स अलग होते हैं. वो टाइम पे
There was also this whole notion that child actors
Cannot
don't
be,
work
yeah.
as
I mean,
Yeah,
Fali and I
as
both
main
technically
actors,
are.
yeah.
हाँ,
only you and Kunal have been able to
Yeah,
dispel
only-
this nonsense.
it's
Jugal
so
has
odd.
spoken so much about
Yeah,
it.
so
it's
odd
true.
because people
Urmila
thought
has spoken so much
because
about
people
this.
thought that when you are so exposed as a child actor, when you've given multiple hits as a child actor, कि you're too exposed, and but it's not like that. ये एक रूल सबके ऊपर अप्लाई नहीं करता है. तो मेरे लिए वहाँ से मैं सवाल भूल गई. क्या था?
About
मैं कहा क्या?
about being young and
about
going
being
to
about
judge
being
world.
age and not being taken seriously. But I left acting because it was too much for me. As a child actor, I realized that I was working 18 hours or so. I was not going to school. I was constantly around adults. It was a toxic work environment for me, and I couldn't take it anymore. So I had to quit that. And when I realized that I wanted to act again, I had to start from ground zero.
Yeah.
So for 3 years, I was auditioning every day. और जो सच है कि वो लाइंस लगी रहती है 100 लोगों की, वो लाइन में खड़ी रहती थी. मैं शादियों में शूट करती थी. आई वॉज अ फोटोग्राफर एट वेडिंग्स बिकॉज आई हैड टू अर्न मनी. आपको ऑडिशन दे के पैसे नहीं आने वाले, और आपको फ्रीडम जो आप बोलते हो कि आपको लाइफ में एक्सपीरियंसेस चाहिए, वो जब तक आपको फाइनेंशियल स्टेबिलिटी है ना,
Yeah.
फाइनेंशियल स्टेबिलिटी के बिना आप एक्सपीरियंसेस नहीं कर सकते. क्योंकि आप ये सोच रहे हो कि मैं कल क्या खाऊंगी.
Yeah.
और वो रियलिटी आपकी, वो आपकी सच्चाई है. पहले आप अपने बेसिक स्ट्रगल्स को फाइट करते हो. फिर वहां से आई स्टार्टेड ऑडिशनिंग एंड देन आई गॉट दंगल. आई गॉट इट ऑन माय मेरिट.
Absolutely.
So I auditioned for it. I got it on my merit. I still struggle. I have a lot of doubt if I'm a good actor or not. I'm constantly questioning myself. I want to learn. I have the money now, so I go to Adi Shakti. I have the money, so I want to, I couldn't do all of that before. True. So like she said, कि और इन दोनों ने बोला है, आपको अपने काम पे अच्छा होना पड़ेगा, तब जाके आप बाकी इनसिक्योरिटीज को हटा सकते हो. क्योंकि एक चीज को तो आप पकड़ सकते हो ना, नहीं तो सुंदर मैं हूँ या नहीं हूँ, वो तो बहुत सब्जेक्टिव है. You will never be good enough. You will never be good enough.
Nobody is good enough.
Yeah.
No matter what you do.
आप कितना भी कर लो, वो आप किसी के लिए कभी परफेक्ट हो गई नहीं. मैं अपने लिए परफेक्ट हूँ ना, वो बहुत है.
That's true. Sanjana?
You know, it's like I hear so much of myself when Fati describes this part of her journey, because I've not thought of it through the lens of age, but what I know is my journey, which is that when you don't come from this city, when the city is alien to you, when you live alone, like how Diya spoke about being 20 years old, taking care of her own house, that's exactly what I'm doing today, right? Like, I don't have anyone at home living with me, and you do A to Z on your own. So I've not thought as to why or how people will take me seriously, but I have known 2 or 3 things, one of which is a genuine passion and love for bringing stories to life. And the second is that you spend years trying to hone your craft. And you realize that when you keep keeping those 2 things intact, people do tend to take you seriously.
That's true.
I haven't, fortunately, been taken lightly. Imtiaz Ali didn't take me lightly when I was 13 years old, playing Mandy and Rockstar also. And I think that comes from the fact that if you're trying to just be really honest and authentic
Absolutely.
to what you're trying to do.
Absolutely.
But, you know, I would like
and consistently authentic.
Also, what kind of people come into your life?
Absolutely.
I also feel the journey is slightly different for actors. क्योंकि हम लोग हमारे काम के वजह से set पे लिए जाते हैं. But for somebody who's a technician, because I've had these conversations with my friends who are ADs or assistant cinematographers, उनको age में बहुत problem होती है. क्योंकि when they're younger and they are in a position of authority, and people who've been in the industry
People
since
don't
a while,
like it.
they don't like it.
Yeah.
They don't like taking those
It's the same in media, let's be honest. I'm sorry, but now the way people can come to me and talk to me, because I mostly will be approachable, and I'm not saying it's their fault. I am built that way. That's my core. They will not be able to treat a senior journalist like that who would possibly, they are the same ones who would possibly be known for doing Kalesh at random moments. You know, you understand what I'm trying to say? So there I feel like the fight is too much. But I feel that the younger generation is also the voice and face of change. And I hope that it changes. I'll go out of my way to support anybody that needs that support. I don't feel that insecurity has ever made an army. An army is always made of secure people who will help each other. And in a world of make-believe and numbers, it is really brave to make a film and be part of a film like Dhak Dhak. But what's braver is to be authentic and consistently authentic to your own core in a world which is built on fake air kisses. So kudos to all you women and all the men who are fighting it on a daily basis. And I just have one thing to show, because I just got it, so I thought I'd say it like this, that you're amazing.
Thank you so much.
Don't ever forget it.
Thank
you so much for
Thank
this.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nayan.
Thank you for saving it for the last, because you genuinely made us smile. मैं खुश हूँ. मैं बहुत थक गई थी.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so
थोड़ी
much.
हिम्मत
And
वापस
also
आई.
always remember that actors only get better with age. Like
Thank you so much.
Hi, मैं हूँ फातिमा सना.
Hi, I'm Diya Mirza.
Hello, Ratna Pathak Shah.
Hi, I'm Sanjana Sanghi, and you're watching me on Bollywood Bubble.